So, Alex, what were you saying about that you got an email or a heads up from New York Times earlier today?
Oh, it was regarding. It actually was very, very odd languaging. It was from New York Times regarding the justices have decided they're skeptical about banning benefits for same-sex couples. But it was a little, the way it was, I don't know, the whole gay marriage thing is like, keeps going back and forth and the headlines keep going up and down, like, I don't know what they're arguing about at this point. It's like,
about the gay marriage.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, benefits for same-sex couples, and oh, we're skeptical about banning that, but then no gay marriage to begin with, so like it's like colliding.
What sparked it was this couple, one woman died, and her wife wasn't allowed to get the benefits of her death.
Oh, that makes
and
sense.
that is what caused this big uproar that's happening right now.
So the big uproar is, I guess, making it legal here and there. Is that?
Yes,
That sounds like the base.
That sounds like the main issue.
Well, if they were married.
I guess not technically, were they?
Well, in some states, right?
They were considered a married couple, and she wasn't allowed to get the.
Even though they were married, though.
See, now
so
that's
now we're
just,
having a problem.
Yeah,
like, so what is marriage?
It's kind of the same thing how, like, let's say driver's licenses. You can get your driver's license in Florida, still works in Maryland or New York, Oregon,
state,
wherever, any other state. It's that double standard that, okay, 6 states say, yeah, you can get same-sex marriages are okay. But it's not recognized in the other, I can't do math.
44.
So wait, but the benefits,
Can't do math.
did they move to a state that doesn't have gay marriage? Is that what happened?
That's probably what happened. Because
if that's the case, it still doesn't, I mean, like, that's a weird topic. It's like the laws contradicting each other now.
Yeah.
I think they were together for like 30 years or so, and that's why she
Really?
was so upset. So they were together for
That's a
so
long time.
long, and
That's crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy. But gay marriage in general has been in the headlines lately.
Yeah.
For a
It's,
while.
yeah.
And it's taking over Facebook lately. Everyone's changing their Facebook photos to
I
The
think
equality.
Donnie had a very good point. He said, "What is marriage?" I mean, that's like the biggest question here.
Yeah, what's the purpose? I mean, because right now, you get married in the church, and you have to get divorced at court. Like, separation of the church and state. Wait a minute.
Yeah, marriage doesn't matter because it costs. No, I honestly think that it's it used to be very involved with. There was always some type of cultural aspect to it, as like how someone gets married. Like I'm Greek Orthodox, right? Getting married in my church, there's no vows, there's no nothing. The husband and wife don't speak at all. There's always been like a religious attachment to it, like the way
They
the
just
person
sign.
was about
Do
money.
you take?
And today,
this person?
people. Yeah, it's all silent.
They don't speak. That's what it is. You have to communicate somehow.
But honestly, if you think about it, people getting married today, and then let's say I mean, if it's not backed by those beliefs that it all started on anyway, everything is symbolic, like the white gown on the girl, like it's all symbolic. If we're not doing that anymore, then really what is marriage today in modern times? When people get divorced, they get married, they get divorced, they get married, they get
Tax
divorced.
breaks.
They get
That's what
married in
marriage
courthouses. That's not the same. It's not
Yeah, but
what
when you
marriage
get
is.
married in church, you still have to fill out a legal form to be legally married.
Was that the wall speaking?
That is
That's
the
the
wall.
wall.
That's the wall.
The wall from
The
another
wall can throw its voice.
Yeah, the wall from another wall.
The wall-
It's different.
And when you get divorced, you get legally divorced. And if you want to get, quote unquote, divorced in the Catholic Church, you have to get an annulment. But you can still legally remarry. You just can't.
I think that's.
You can't remarry in the Catholic Church without getting an annulment.
I think that's like a loss of religion. Because originally, for you to get a divorce, you would have to do the annulment first. So it kind of changes that aspect, and
So-
that doesn't.
So
Well-
the big question is that to get married, do you have to be religious? What if you don't have religion?
Yeah, like
You don't
atheists. I'm
believe-
sure like
What if
atheists
you're
get married.
an atheist? Does that mean that you
Well-
shouldn't be able to get married?
Not even just
Because
that.
Well,
there's
what
a
is-
difference between love and, to me, there's a huge difference between love and religion.
And I think that's the biggest point of gay marriage.
Because it's against a lot of religions for you to be gay. Therefore, how could you you get married in a church where you're not accepted almost? Like how does
But
that?
nobody.
Well, you
but
can't.
his point is that nobody really sees marriage as religion anymore. It's all about the law and taxes. So if that's what marriage is nowadays, why can't
It should
I
be
Legal
don't know.
union.
That's
a legal union. Is that what it should be
a
called?
legal
No
union.
one's going to admit that.
Nobody's
I'm
going to
just-
want
I'm
to
just
say that.
doing
They don't
it.
want to
I
say
know
I'm
what I'm
different. But
saying.
the truth is, I mean, if marriage was always declared through that couple's beliefs and everything else, what is it when it's not? When there's no beliefs behind it?
Well, you know, the connotative meaning of words changes throughout time regardless. You know, just because, you know, like for instance, the word wicked used to mean bad, and now we kind of use it as something cool. So, I mean, we could be,
Used to mean
Like
bad.
those Starbursts I ate earlier were wicked good.
yeah, they were wicked
Yeah, they were
suburbs.
wicked good.
So, I mean, marriage could just, the word marriage at the connotative meaning could just change over time. Now, what it used to be heavily as a religious meaning to it is now more of a union between two people.
But then at the same time, you can't have people complaining then that, oh, why can't we get married here or there or this? I mean, like,
well,
in
now,
the Greek
but the thing
church,
is, it's changing. That's
It's
We live
changing,
in a
but-
global society now,
Exactly.
and that's the big thing. Is before when, let's say, the word marriage was originated, and people who
Oh, sorry.
lived in their communities were all the same religion. You know, everybody who you interacted with in your life when the word marriage was really put into place, you were all the same religion.
Exactly.
We now live in a global
a mixed
community.
community. Well, then that's got to be decided within the couple.
So
itself.
like let's say Sanjay, for instance, you're Hindu, right?
Yes.
And your girlfriend is probably Catholic, correct?
Yes.
You have
For
no
argument's
idea.
sake.
You have
So,
absolutely no
because
idea.
they are two different. But,
This
but
is going
saying
live.
That, but under your like veil of marriage should be a religious thing. They're two different religions, so should then that be called something different?
That comes down to the couple at that point.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So
Rock,
so
paper,
then it
scissors.
should be the same for a gay couple, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but a gay couple won't be getting married in the church or.
Sure, they could.
If
Unitarian.
they're both Catholic, why not?
If they were both Catholic and the Catholic Church accepted it, they could.
That's what I'm saying.
But
It's gotta be with
Unitarians are accepting of Unitarians is a flavor of Christian,
Damn, I love
and
this
they
wall.
are accepting
the
of
swallow smart.
This wall knows their stuff.
That's the
and
smartest
they are
wall we ever
accepting
had.
of gay, lesbian, transgender people. So they are Christian faith, who is a sect that is accepting of that.
But all I'm saying is, I mean, this still now, even despite despite that, right? Even if that does exist, you still have the issue of the actual government being involved, the law being involved. Now, it doesn't matter what the church says. If it's not allowed in that state, law-wise, it's not happening. You know what I mean? So like, it's like a mix of issues colliding right now.
But I think
It's
I
not
think
the
that's
true separation of church and state.
Exactly.
Oh, God, no. It's so much-
not.
it's-
so
it's-
even if a religion
it's-
says it's okay, though,
Yeah.
that's
it's
that's
not.
step one.
You still have to get
and
through
then-
the government,
Yeah.
and vice versa. I mean, even the government could say it's okay, but none of the churches do it. So, I mean,
Well,
how
listen,
do you
in
even get it
Eastern,
done?
and any Eastern Orthodox Christian faith, women aren't even allowed behind the altar.
Yeah.
Right? It's just Orthodox means it's like back the old way completely.
Traditionally.
It will never change type of thing, you know, and that's why, you know, with the Orthodox Jewish people, they have the whole outfit they wear. It's part of the culture.
Mhm.
And women
Yep.
sip separately from the men.
Yeah, they don't even touch until they're married.
So
They
what's
don't
your
even touch.
what's your personal take on gay marriage?
My personal take on gay marriage is, I mean, it's not going to be. I have my views like with my church, and it will never be allowed there. I mean, if people want to do their own thing, let it be. But you can't mix it with the church. You can't complain that a church isn't allowing it when the faith doesn't allow it to begin with. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then don't
It's part
be
of
in
that culture already.
don't
That's
be
not.
part
But
of
I
that.
don't think that's necessarily the issue. I think that what the issue is if there's supposed to be a separation of church and state in our government society, why the Pilgrims came here a bazillion years ago,
Wait a minute.
why is it such a big deal? If people you don't necessarily have to follow a certain faith, and if most religions don't agree with gay marriage, who cares for government
Well,
purposes?
what is the reasons that what are the reasons that legally they have issues with it?
The government?
What are
Money. They don't want to pay
Alright.
more money than they have to, so they're going to make excuses.
So money, or I mean, like, what are some people say? Okay, men and women come together to reproduce, right? So does that have anything to do with it? Like, not.
Well, that would be a problem too,
reproducing?
I
because
don't
you know
think
there's
it
a
gets
whole
down
bunch
to
of
money.
things.
I'm just asking, what arguments have you guys heard that
Well,
it shouldn't
the
be?
I don't
other
think
thing
it
is
gets
too
down
that
to
when
money.
people have like babies, they want the kid to actually happen. So this is another topic altogether with the abortion thing, but. You know, when someone makes a baby, they want to keep the baby as one side, and then there's the other side where, you know, that don't want to keep the baby. So if there's just gay marriages happening, I mean, there's no babies being made, and it's not helping
That's
the company
not true.
continue.
It's not
There
true.
is in
That is
vitro
not true.
fertilization.
Right.
Well, they're saying traditionally.
See, like
Not-
stuff like that didn't
Sex.
exist when it
But
was
why can't
religious
they adopt?
based, nothing else.
There's tons and tons of children out there who don't have homes in the foster system.
That's true.
And there's a lot of gay couples who are
But
dying to
then-
have
but
kids.
then they make
What-
the argument of having a kid grow up in a two-parent household where it's two males rather than a male and a female, or two females rather than a
So
mom and a dad.
what about single parents?
So that's a whole nother ballgame.
Well,
We're
why?
talking-
Well, I think
why?
We're talking single parent, a single mom or single dad rather than two moms and two dads.
But wouldn't two parents, regardless of their sex, be better for a child than just one parent?
I mean, it all depends. Some people may not agree. I don't know how.
Actually, yeah, that view varies
It can.
nationwide.
You can say
But
two
I feel like
two
in-
moms cannot.
You can have a
even in
deadbeat
gay,
dad
even in gay
working for a mom.
relationships, one is always more masculine than the other.
Yeah, but
So there is
Takes
more
the
of a
different
masculine.
form-
Yes,
yeah,
there's more of a
I
masculine
understand what you
role model there than there is when there's a single parent.
But at the end of the day, a woman still can't. You can't be a man. So I don't
So
care.
it's the same
You
thing as
could
being
be.
a single mother.
You could be as masculine as you want to, but as
So
a
then it's
woman
the same
can't.
thing as being a single mother then.
Not
No, I'm
necessarily.
sorry.
You go through different things being a single mother than you do having
The
two
absence
moms.
of a father.
Exactly, but
But if you
a
have a
single mother goes
masculine
through.
role model,
A woman can
regardless
never.
if it's a woman or not, there's a masculine
Listen,
role model
I
there.
have
Ding 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 ding!
I have a really good friend. A really good friend. He was raised by a single mom. He was raised by his mother and his grandmother.
I was raised by a
And-
single mom,
That's
And
two
his
women.
and his gay uncle.
Two women.
His mother and his grandmother and his gay uncle.
right?
You
So
do not
2.5
tell
women.
me that this man did not have a male, like not, he didn't need a male role model to be a man. He learned his values from his parents, and that's a big thing that people don't understand. You don't need to learn how to be a man. You don't need to learn how to throw a ball. You need to learn values.
I agree.
Of course.
And
So,
if you have
Going
two
back
people,
to what, sorry, Walt, but going back to what you were saying about a woman can't be a man, I've been to a lesbian wedding. It is so much fun. It's not funny. It's so much fun. And the husband in that relationship, if you need
Right.
the bride and the groom like roles,
Mhm.
will kick you sideways.
Yeah.
My
there's
thing,
Oh yeah, they
Well,
can.
so
More
my
authoritative.
thing is, as a kid, when you're growing up, like you're in whatever tradition, you see mom and dad. Okay, in some traditions you just see mom, in some traditions you just see dad. It's not traditional to see mom and mom or dad and dad. And I'm not against it. I mean, what they do is
No,
is-
but that's a true
it's up
fact.
to them.
That's true. It's not traditional. It's
Yeah,
not.
right.
It's not common.
But we're not.
So
The
all
thing
it
is, we're not
comes
ready
to-
to encompass it yet.
That's
Just
the
like